Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Do you really know why Black Lives Matter? To further an agenda of the globalist George Soros. I know. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sam B right here with the Tune Up Show. So check it out, right? Once again, Black Lives Matter is under investigation for multiple felonies, all types of stuff. But, you know, if you're like me, you kind of saw this coming. Because, see, organizations like Black Lives Matter, feminism, Republicans, Democrats, anytime you put yourself in an echo chamber, you tend to be around people that's just like you. Whether they're criminals, whether they're just opportunists. And trust me, an opportunist is not a business person. Okay, an opportunist is about a few short shades of a psychopath. Okay, because see, a business person knows their limits. A business person weighs out the risk to the reward. And if it's more risk than reward, then they won't do it. But an opportunist will just risk it all. They'll put their whole bank account on the roulette table. That's an opportunist. Like I said, a few shades of a psychopath. But anyway, I digress. So in this particular story about Black Lives Matter, you have a black woman by the name of Pamela Moses of Memphis, Tennessee. And I definitely have the video and article, the news video and the news article on her. But they said Tennessee BLM founder sentenced to 6 years in prison for illegally voting. Now, I don't know if that's what they really got her on. Maybe some other stuff. Who knows? But we're just going to take this for face value. And we're just going to see what it is. So we're going to tune into this real fast. And let's see what happens. Let's go to the clip.
A Fox News exclusive. More police officers were killed in the line of duty last year than any year since 1995, with intentional killings of police up 59%. David Webb, host of Reality Check with David Webb on...
Did y'all hear that? Since 1995. And this was like towards the end of the crack epidemic. I think we're going into the weed epidemic or PCP or whatever. I guess people was still smoking crack in the early 90s. I don't know. I'm a 90s baby, so I grew up in the 90s. But that's really a shame. And so it's like, I mean, what was the whole defund the police thing was about? Was it just defund the police, then kill them? Like, I mean, what's the end game here, people?
Fox Nation joins us now. Before we get into what Ray Kelly said earlier on Sunday, I just want to ask you from an historical standpoint. In 2021, Biden is president. The intentional killings were 73. In 1995, that was when Bill Clinton was president. That was more than 72 officers were killed. And then in 2011, you also saw a high number of officers killed intentionally when Barack Obama was president. So is it fair to say that people need to, from an historical standpoint, they need to really look at the way that these people, their laws affect police, and not only that, but the way police do their job?
Well, the environment does matter, Ashley. The laws matter, the environment matters, the policy matters. What's changed since those days to where we are now, and police has become more, or law enforcement writ large has become a much more professional community, much more professional profession, if you will, is that we now have a reversal in policy on how we treat criminals. So when you have a growth of criminality, not just police officers killed in the line of duty, murdered in the line line of duty, as Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora were. You have criminals who are escalating. They're continuing to advance as criminals.
Okay. They're talking about police shootings, but it's definitely going to dovetail into what they were talking about. So let's just shoot ahead real fast.
Community, not just about criminals. So this deconstruction of law enforcement as a community and these false...
Yeah, they do eventually get into the article, but I guess they wanted to cover this and try to... a lot of media does this. They dovetail one headline into another headline. I mean, it's basic media coverage. But I mean, it's anybody with a brain can see that a lot of Black Lives Matter organizations and movements eventually went into all the criminality, because when you got an oppressed people, a supposedly oppressed people, and that's of any nation, that's of any race, when you got oppressed people and they feel like they finally have a voice, a lot of them, tend to just can't help themselves, and they go right into criminality, and they just blame their oppressors, whether they are seen or unseen oppressors. So this is basic media coverage, and that's why they're probably doing it like this.
False statements by Joe Biden when it comes to federal, while ignoring local, especially in these Democrat cities, is what we need to look at.
Okay, we have just a tiny bit of time left, but the Memphis BLM founder Pamela Moses she was sentenced to 6 years in prison for voting illegally. The judge who came down on her with this said you tricked the probation department into giving you documents saying you were off probation. How concerning is this?
Not really to me. Look,
giving you documents. Came down on her with this, said you tricked the probation department into giving you documents saying you were off probation. How concerning is this?
Not really to me. Look,
I know, right? Like, who gives a crap? We already know this whole system, and the lady was like, oh no, all right, well, okay, whatever. But is it true? I mean, it's not a concerning thing, because we already know, most people that pay attention to stuff like this, they know what Black Lives Matter organization was all about. They know what kind of intent that they were coming with. That's pretty much it. I mean, we get it. I did a video on this a few months back, on Patrice Cullors. And the wrongdoings that she was doing, and she will most likely, they're probably digging in her life more, but she's definitely embedded in the globalist establishment. So I don't think they're going to touch her too much. But there's one particular woman, I don't think she was able to slip through the cracks.
At some point, if you look at her charges prior to this conviction, at some point it's not everybody else's fault. She says she was tricked. Well, do I really believe her? I don't have a way of proving yes or no, but do you really believe somebody just wanted to trick her into violating the law and she wasn't capable of checking for herself?
Yeah, I don't believe that either. I think that was set up to a point where she was able, when it comes to that part of the Democratic Party, the leftist movement and anyone, and you gotta watch out for when people call themselves leftists. All a leftist is somebody that's taken the left path of life. Like when you take the right path of life, it's all in religion. When you take the right path, it's substituted as the righteous path. Because we look in Christianity, the Son of God sits on the right side of the Father. So when you choose the right side, the right path, the righteous path, you're most likely choosing the path of good. Now the left path, there's nothing in the spiritual realm occupying the left side of the Father, the creator of the universe. So that's why they say Satan, he likes to travel. He likes to work in spaces where there's the least resistance. there's nothing occupying that left side of the Father. So most Satanists and most people that are considered leftists, they see that infraction, which it really doesn't matter. I mean, God, he controls all sides of him. There's nothing that's getting past him, but see, this is how their ideology works. That's why they call themselves leftists. All right. I just want to throw that in there.
We have responsibilities as human beings, as citizens, as people, to know what we're doing. And that's where I lie with this. And Black Lives Matter, well, I have a bigger issue with $90 million missing, with reviews in California, with hundreds of millions of dollars that have been extorted from American corporations and American people that has gone where? Is it gone back to the black community? No. Are they burning? Yes, they are. Are they destroying? Yes, they are. Are they attacking law enforcement, burning precincts, along with Antifa and other leftists? My concern is for the American community, not for a Black Lives Matter movement that is led and founded in part by self-admitted Marxists.
Okay, David Webb, thanks so much for your...
Exactly. Self-admitted Marxists, very well-trained, skilled Marxists. As you know, the Marxist people, they come out of the Karl Marx group. Most black Afrocentric people, they come out of that group, and I still don't understand how, because Karl Marx himself was indeed a Caucasian man. So I mean, that just tells you right then and there, there's something rotten in Denmark with that whole establishment. But I just want to get a little bit in depth here with Pamela Moses. Just want to read this article, if I may. I'm not sure if you guys can read this. I want to read a little bit of it just to get a little depth. Tennessee BLM founder sentenced to 6 years in prison for illegally voting. The judge said Pamela Moses tricked probation department officials into a lie. Now, isn't that something else? Now, didn't they say that she was tricked? Now they're saying that she tricked probation department. So, like I said, it's always some kind of disingenuous, narrative always being pushed, whether it's through media or news articles. It is what it is, right? So let's do this. The judge said Pamela Moses tricked probation department officials into allowing her to obtain the right to vote. A Black Lives Matter chapter founder in Tennessee was sentenced to 6 years in prison for illegally registering to vote while serving probation. You tricked the probation department to give you documents saying you were off probation. Criminal court Judge W. Mark Ward told the founder of Black Lives Matter chapter in Memphis, Pamela Moses, on Monday. Moses pleaded guilty in the 2015 to felonies, including tampering with evidence and forgery, as well as misdemeanor charges of perjury, stalking, theft under $500, and escape. She was ineligible to vote in Tennessee due to her tampering with evidence charge and was currently serving 7 years of probation. Now, all of those offenses and felonies that she had, stalking, perjury, theft, tampering with evidence, she wasn't the only black man or woman to have these kind of charges. Okay. Once it all comes out, most likely within the next 2 years or so, or when this society feels as though it wants to get back in order and back to normal, look, a lot of you black people, white people, Asian, whoever you are, if you are down with this, let me tell you something. No one has forgotten you. You didn't get away with murder. You didn't get away with crimes. They will find you. I repeat, they will find you. You will be found. Okay? That's all there is to it. If you think you got away with something, if you think you're out there looting, doing all types of crimes and all this, let me tell you something. FRS, facial recognition software, it can read right past that face mask. Why do you think Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook were promoting you to take selfies with your face mask on? Because they know you be the dummies out there trying to do crimes in your face mask. So therefore, the FRS software facial recognition software. It's going to align your face with your mask on and be able to pick you out of a lineup and find you wherever you're at on this earth. So like I said, you will be found. You did not get away with anything. It may take 1 year, it may take 2 years, it may take 3 years, but trust me, you will be found. All right? And that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this. And, she wasn't the only one. All right? There's another one. Atlanta activists spent $200,000 in Black Lives Matter donations on house and personal expenses. FBI found out. This guy was Sir Major Page. All right? The FBI this is another one that thought he was going to, do what he wants. The FBI has arrested the founder of a Black Lives Matter group in Atlanta on fraud and money laundering charges. Sir Major Page, 32, was accused Friday of Okay, so this was just Friday then. All right. Misappropriating $200,000 in donations he solicited through Facebook on behalf of Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta. Fox 5 Atlanta reported Friday. Page was arrested in Toledo and released on bond after appearing before a judge via video. He did not immediately return messages Saturday from Fox News. The Toledo FBI office opened an investigation last year after a cooperating witness submitted a fraud complaint against Page, whose real name is Tyree Conyers Page. FBI agent Matthew DeSorbo said in the complaint, Page founded Black Lives Matter of Greater Atlanta in 2016, and this year it took him more than $466,000 in donations in June, July, and August, DeSorbo said. In sum, Page has spent over $200,000 on personal items generated from donations received from BLMGA Facebook page with no identifiable purchase or expenditure for social or racial justice. And this is the guy look like, obviously he's a albino black, very albino, and that particular color of people exists. Albino Africans, albino blacks, they all exist. So that's what I'm trying to say, guys. They're going to find you out. They might, and like I said, in other videos, this whole leftist thing. Let me tell you something. When you're doing wrong, and you're doing, you're doing the utmost wrong, and you're doing it at the expense of other people's money. And I'm not saying that people that donated to Black Lives Matter, that people are dummies, they're idiots. There's a lot of people out there that believe in their hearts that they were doing the right thing. They believe that, oh man, well, I'm doing this for black people. Black people are oppressed. Well, no, black people are not oppressed. Okay, if anything, black people oppress other black people the most. Okay, setting up donations, that's fine. But how about setting up donations for something tangible? Setting up a donation to build another rec center or community center, or set up donations so you can build up more job fairs. Okay, there's so many job career link people, and it's not enough of them. Stop always asking for money all the time. That's the problem. Go out and work. Okay? My goodness. It's sick. It's sickening. Every time I'm driving out, I'm working, I see all these people. Everybody wants to start a damn drill team. Everybody wants to start a damn band or something. Why don't you just go to work? All right, and like I said, I'm not against people having fun or doing something recreational, but that shouldn't be your bread and butter. And your bread and butter shouldn't come from people just so you can go somewhere and dance around. Okay, that should be secondary or even third or fourth on your itinerary of life. I'm not getting no benefit out of watching a drill team. Watching a drill team dance around, that's not no benefit. That doesn't pay any bills. You want to be like this clown, Tyree Conyers, okay, who most likely himself, all right, this guy bought a house in Toledo for $112,000 of those dollars. Now, it's just him, so why did he feel like he needed to spend that much money on a house? Because it was for him. He knew what he was going to do. And it's funny, he gathered $466,000, and he spent a little over $200,000. So he knows when it comes to nonprofit organizations, you only really have to claim half of it. And the other half, it is what it is. He knows that. But see, someone else sold him out. But, hey, you don't agree with me? You believe Black Lives Matter is all real and people like me just need to shut up and fall in line? Then, hey, leave it in the comment. Until then, I'm Sam B. This is the Tune Up Show, and I'm out of here. Peace.